Welcome to Lamore City Council, Council Chamber, 429 C Street. This is the December 7th meeting. Please silence all electronic devices as courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. This is a 7 p.m. closed session. This item has been set aside for the City Council to meet in a closed session to discuss matters pursuant to Government Code Section 54956-9D4. The city attorney will provide an oral report regarding the closed session at the beginning of the next regular City Council meeting. Number 1, Government Code Section 54957, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, City Manager. In the event that all items on the closed session agenda have not been deliberated in the time provided, the City Council may continue to close the closed session at the end of the regular scheduled council meeting. And with that, we are adjourned to closed session. Welcome to Lemoore City Council Chamber, 529 C Street. This is the 7:30 p.m. regular session. Reminder to please silence all electronic devices as courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. First, we have our call to order. Oh, that's what we just did. Sorry. If you wouldn't mind standing for the invocation, and please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you and we just thank you for an opportunity to meet and for an opportunity of just being able to see what we need to do in order to lead the people of this community, Lord. Thank you for each of the members of the council, Lord. I pray that you would give them wisdom as they look at the things they need to deal with, Lord. Pray that you would just continue to protect the city of Lemoore. Use those that you've put in the line of military and first responders to, again, just guard and protect and serve our community, Lord. We thank you for them. And again, we come before you and just seek you and let you be present throughout this meeting and look forward to how you're going to move tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ready? Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you could please remain standing for a brief moment of silence in remembrance of Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Roll call, Marissa.
Good evening. Councilmember Orth,
Here.
Councilmember Gornick,
Here.
Councilmember Cheney,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Matthews,
Here.
and Mayor Lyons. Thank you.
Closed session report.
Nothing to report, Mayor Pro Tem and Council.
Agenda approval, additions and or deletions. Do we have any? None. So we'll move on to public comment. Public comment will begin in accordance with the attached policy. The time is reserved for members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each. And it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. Public comment will be available for items on the agenda. Do we have any public comment tonight? Marissa, no? Okay, moving on to ceremonial presentations. Seeing none, we'll move on to the department and city manager reports. Mr. Olson.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. First up is Chief Kendall.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. So as you know, our two main holiday events for this month is Reason for the Season and then Presence on Patrol. So far, we've shopped for 30 families, 89 kids. Last Saturday, we were projected to have over 200 kids this year receiving gifts. So anyone who wants to help us finish up our shopping can do so this Saturday, December 11th at 6 a.m. at the Hanford Walmart. We'll finish up the shopping there, and then on Monday, December 13th at 9 a.m, we'll be gift wrapping all those presents that we purchased down at the police department. It's open to the public. You guys are invited to help us wrap. It's usually kind of an all-day event. And then the date for reason for the season is Friday, December 17th from 1 to 2 p.m. And that'll be located down at the police department again this year. That seemed to work out with the COVID restrictions. We just have them drive through our back parking lot. And then our final event, Presence on Patrol, will be Tuesday, December 21st. We'll have a potluck at the PD at noon. You guys are invited, and then we'll go distribute gifts to those families we have selected after that. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
So good evening once again. Just want to say that the Christmas parade on Saturday was a well-attended lot. I think we were 55, I believe, entries. I don't know, a few of them didn't make it, but for the most part, they were stacked 4 or 5 deep all throughout the parade route. So good event. Was nice to see everybody in the community out supporting the Christmas parade. And then just a couple things out of planning. We're started the site plan review for the Panda Express restaurant that'll be going in on the southeast corner of Hanford Almona Road and Fox Street by the Kmart parking lot. And then Johnny Quick has already been through and processed. They are rebranding. So instead of a Johnny Quick, it is now going to be called the Day and Night Market. So nothing changed other than name. So final parcel maps and are in process as well as the signage approval for that. So a couple more businesses coming into Lamore pretty quick. And then I know that Round Table Pizza has also dropped papers to renovate some space here locally. So three more businesses coming into town. That's it. Thank you.
Where are they thinking of what space? Yeah.
They're over by the Kmart shopping center.
Oh,
In one of those over
another
there.
place.
I believe it's the one right next to Kmart, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Two over, isn't it?
It's somewhere in that
Yeah,
vicinity right there.
between Kmart and Save Mart.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's over there. Okay. Oh, and apologize. One thing I'd like to thank everybody that helped volunteer and pull the event off this year for that. But People's Farming donated the trailer to the city that we could use to pull. And then Sheila called last minute. We needed some additional lighting for the parade routes. And they allowed us to use some of the light towers from out at the farm to bring in last second to light up the street. So we were thankful for that. So I wanted to just give them a quick shout out. Thanks.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar, section 3, items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar. They will be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or member of the public requests individual consideration. 3-1, approval minutes, regular meeting, November 16th, 2021. 3-2, approval resolution 2021-30, committing ambulance fine revenues for the purpose of emergency medical service training and equipment for the Lemoore Volunteer Fire Department. 3-3, approval bid award Lemoore Youth Sports Complex Shade Structures. 4-4, approval memorandum of understanding between the City of Lemoore and Diamante Catering LLC. Would council like to pull any of the items on the consent calendar? Mr. Gornick?
3.4.
3-3.
Anything else? Would anyone from the public like to pull any items? Nobody online, Marissa? Okay. So would someone like to make a motion to accept 3-1 and 3-2?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Orth and a second by Mr. Gornick. Mr. Orth,
Aye.
Mr. Gornick,
Right.
Mr. Cheney,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. So for 3-3, the bid award Lemoore Youth Sports Complex shade structures.
Good evening, council. I don't think we've met yet. My name is Brandon. I'm the new management analyst for Public Works. Was there anything regarding specifically with 3-3 that you had a question on, Councilmember Worth?
Is it, what I read is basically is just gonna go, they're gonna have two big ones for like group settings and then one for like over the dugouts, I'm assuming, or
Yes.
just
So
trying to,
the shade structures will be for the crowd as well as one over the dugouts for the, I guess, participants that'll be involved at this sports complex.
when are they supposed to start and how long? And
So they're supposed to start post this. They are going to, once I get it out, they'll start construction immediately. They're actually waiting, materials in hand, waiting for this.
this was a grant?
Yes.
Yes.
Who wrote the grant? Some of our city?
Yeah, this grant was done between Sheila at Parks and Rec, and then we had a little bit of assistance from A&M Engineering out of Corcoran.
Sounds like they did a good job to get $177,000.
Mhm.
So,
Anything else, council?
Any other questions? Does anybody from the public want to speak on this item? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to council. Any other comments?
do we have, Nathan, do we have, or is this something we're looking at going like to other youth areas? Like, I don't know, maybe a skate park or a little league something, or we have other,
So yeah, on some of these grants, you have to basically get into a map and you got to put a pin where you want to do some of these and you have to meet certain criterias. This one did meet the criteria. I can tell you that we do have a donation coming in from People's Farming. They have taken up, they're going to put shade structures over the skate park, not over the whole thing, but in a couple different places. So there will be shade for kids. But we're kind of waiting to get closer to summer to install those. So we'll have shade structures at the soccer and youth sports complex, as well as over at the skate park for next year. And then as more grants come available, we'll continue to keep an eye out and look for more opportunity.
cool, great, thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve 3-3.
Motion to accept 3-3 as read.
I have a motion by Mr. Orth. Second by Mr. Cheney. Mr. Orth,
Aye.
Mr. Cheney,
Aye.
Mr. Gornick,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. It passes. And then we have 3-4, memorandum of understanding between City of Lemoore and Diamante Catering LLC.
Yes, Councilmember Gornick, what can I answer for you on this one?
Why don't you start and walk us through the process? Was this something that was advertised throughout the community or?
No, so Mr. Ramirez is in the front row here. He approached the city about the use of our kitchen because, as you know, it's available for rentals year round. We typically get it rented 3 to 4 times a year. And then pretty much for the rest of the year, it remains idle. I had thrown around with staff in the past about potentially hiring staff to run it like for lunchtime and events. And we just decided it wasn't the right time. So then Sheila started getting the word out that we had a kitchen available, and Mr. Ramirez came and asked, well, can we come to some kind of an agreement? And he's going to run his catering business out of there as well as serve food over the counter. He's licensed with the county. We've come up with some terms typically over, this is not new to the rec center. Like we have our boxing and some of the different things. Typically we'll have the whoever's running those events, they use the facility and then the city keeps 30% of their fees, so to speak. So in this contract, Mr. Ramirez has agreed to pay us 30% for 30% gross receipts for everything he sells over the counter in the rec center, as well as 10% on catering. So anything he prepares there and then sends out to catering. And he also has a janitorial service as well that's licensed. And as part of this deal, he has agreed to clean the police department for us twice a week. Currently over at the PD, it's the chief and the lieutenants and staff that are maintaining and cleaning the facilities on a weekly basis. So kind of thought it was a win-win. We can kind of take some of the burden off our PD and cleaning, and then we'll have another option for people, especially over there on the weekends. We can't keep food in the little vending machines or anything. So I think it's a good improvement for our community.
So the hours of operation,
because we left them kind of open at this point. So
I
he's
noticed that when I
supposed to
read the
let us know
document, yeah.
the week before, kind of give us the hours for the next week. Because I don't know with catering, you might have to start, depending on what the event is, you might have to be either later at night or earlier in the morning. So I didn't want to lock them into a specific hours. So as part of the agreement, they have to give us their hours of operation the Thursday before the next week. And he also has to make the facility available for 7 rentals a year. So we can
pardon
still
me?
have,
What was that last part?
he has to make the kitchen available for up to 7 rentals a year. So like for the crab feed and the breakfast with Santa, we typically never have more than 4 events where we rent it out. So we made sure we had coverage in there for those, and we just have to give them a 14-day notice on that.
Okay. So we have no standard hours of operation there. other
No.
than Just.
And
okay.
if Mr. Ramirez is here in case there was any questions
Well,
asked
that
of
was the
him.
only thing I was thinking of, Mr. Ramirez, is in terms of if it's a viable food service, one of the things that's reliable is that, if you got some days you're going to be open and the
Yeah.
hours are going to be open. So,
So the plan is we will be there earlier in the morning. So 4 a.m, we'll be serving breakfast burritos. So from 4 to 11, and there might be some at the beginning, some gaps in there just to get prepared for dinner time.
Sure.
But it traditionally it'll start rolling into a regular restaurant. I know there's a set space on the side that there's some potential to put some dining tables. So it's going to be geared towards what is called the ghost kitchen. So we'll have 8 concepts in one restaurant, and mostly will be to go at the beginning. But as time and as business increases, we'll have some dining opportunity as well.
and so I'm anticipating that your hours will be kind of open when there's most traffic in the facility
Mhm.
in terms of events or tournaments or leagues. or,
Yeah, definitely on the weekends, Fridays, Saturdays,
Okay.
Manuel on Sunday mornings,
Okay.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we'll, we already have stuff scheduled for Christmas parties. So we're pretty eager to get in there and start.
I bet you are. It's a great kitchen. Yeah.
Serving the
It's
community.
an awesome kitchen.
It is.
Well,
Hate to see it go away. I mean, it just sits there. It's-
Yeah.
well, exactly. Yeah. But
Hopefully get some use out of it.
wish you good luck. My only other question, Nathan, was so in terms of how we place this on notice to the public in terms of was it available or we're interested in doing it? Was it just word of mouth or did we?
No,
How do
on
we
this
do it?
one, it was more word of mouth, talking with staff, and then staff actually brought Mr. Ramirez to me and said, we have a caterer that's interested in working a deal out on the kitchen. So then we started hashing out a deal. And like I said, it does fall in line with how we do other things. We have spaces to rent. So if people want to do Zumba classes and things like that, we find them available space, and then they run the programs, we collect the fees, and then we get 30%, they keep the 70. But no, we did not advertise this out
Yeah,
abroad.
it's not that I want you to have competition, but I, as a council member, I want us to get, as many people interested in the space as possible. So thanks for that and wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Are you gonna have water, soda, Gatorade?
Oh, yeah, we're going to have all.
It's gonna, that's why I figured that's what you were
Yeah, I
gonna do,
mean,
but
the idea is just to be able to utilize the traffic that's coming in there and be able to get the drinks and, the hot dogs and all the basic stuff.
like,
Help the
And
catering.
for the parents, some good dinner, good food for them, just that we don't have to go to McDonald's.
exactly. That's what I was hoping that was the answer. So, yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Is your goal to stay there long term, or are you wanting to go to
My goal,
Another-
I know we have it down for a year, but my goal is long-term. culinary for, since I was a child. So, being in the kitchen and the way that kitchen is set up and just the condition of it, I wouldn't see going anywhere else, especially with the deal that I got offered and just the potential within the community with my janitorial service and other catering needs.
Now that closet, this is more to Nathan, that closet that has all the kitchen stuff, supplies that we use for that breakfast, is he gonna take that over too? Or are we gonna take that? And then there's,
we'll still have a little bit of storage in there, but for the most part, we'll segregate and we'll just organize our little
Organize.
section. And we'll pull an inventory on it and we can, as maybe quarterly, we go in and do inventories to make sure things are all there. And then in his contract, he can't add or take out equipment without written consent from the city. So even though he has some reign of the kitchen and how he operates it, he can't start making any major changes to it without the city being on board with those changes.
and then is the city maintenance?
We will take care of the maintenance on the facility as we do it there with everything else.
Yeah, but like the kitchen stuff, like the burners and all that,
Mhm.
we'll take care of that.
Yes, the city will maintain. that.
Obviously, we're probably gonna use some of the funds from
Mhm.
to help, okay. I just didn't want to add another budget line to a already tight budget.
So do you have any trucks as well, food trucks, or you?
No, not, I have a trailer, but with time,
For your
that's-
catering,
That's
yeah.
something that we'll look into.
That's what we need to do. We have a throwdown.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Anything else?
From council, anything else from council?
Thank you. Eric.
Thank you, guys.
Anybody from the public have any comments? No, seeing none, bringing it back to council.
Motion to accept 3-4 as written.
I have a
Second.
motion from Mr. Orth and a second from Mr. Gornick. Mr. Orth,
Aye.
Mr. Gornick,
Aye.
Mr. Cheney.
Aye.
I vote aye as well. It passes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Public hearings, we have no public hearings tonight, so we'll move on to new business, section 5. 5-1, report and recommendation, resolution 2021-31, declaring 2 parcels owned by the city of Lemoore as surplus land and authorized the city manager to send surplus land notices of availability. The parcels are located on the south side of East D Street between Oleander Avenue and Smith Avenue. APN 023-020-065 and 023-020-064. Mr. Brandt?
Thank you. Good evening, council members, Steve Brandt, city planner. Some of you might know the city purchased this site on the south side of D Street several years ago. It was purchased with redevelopment money when the city had a redevelopment when redevelopment existed. And it was purchased with the intent at the time of developing affordable housing. So it sat for a number of years and we've decided we want to try to do something with it or see if somebody can do something with it. We put out a few informal feelers and there is some interest out there in doing an affordable housing project. However, in 2019, the state adopted the Surplus Lands Act, which requires certain procedures for cities for disposing of public land that we say that we don't need anymore for a public purpose. So this is the first step in following that process. You need to declare the land to be surplus. And once you do that, then the staff will send out notices to the other local agencies in the area, which is basically the school districts and the county, and to see if they are interested in the property. We'll also send a notice to Housing and Community Development Department at the state, HCD, and they will then notify any housing developers that should have told them that they are interested in doing housing projects in Kings County. So then based on the interest we get from those groups, then there's a negotiating period where we can negotiate with people. And we can do concurrent negotiation depending if there's multiple people interested. And if we can come to an agreement within the negotiating period, then we'll bring to you an agreement. If we go through that entire process and we're not able to come to agreement, then we don't have to follow this process anymore and we can open it up to whoever we want to sell it to. But so we have to go through this process first. There's a good likelihood that somebody's going to show an interest, and then we'll see what happens, and we'll start negotiations. But so the first step is for you to adopt this resolution, declaring it as surplus, and that'll kick the staff into gear to do our work.
How many acres is it?
Oh, good one. Did I not put that in there? 9. It's about this big.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sure it was in the packet. I can't remember what it was.
4.92 acres.
Right under 5.
Is that both
acres.
parcels?
Yeah,
It's just one parcel though, right? But I mean,
it's
that's outlined.
one parcel. It's probably one legal parcel, but for some reason the assessor's got it 2 APNs on it.
2 APN numbers. So
What's the other closest intersection to this thing? What was that?
It's between Smith and Oleander.
So it would be Bush Street, where Bush comes out
yeah.
Yeah,
onto D, right there by the vineyard. That would be the next intersection.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. All
And
right,
then there's Daphne as well.
South
That's
of
that
that.
new development where.
right.
I live.
Yeah. Okay, right by the swim school, whatever, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
catty
yep.
corner from the swim.
exactly.
Okay. You guys recently dissed it,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
made it look better.
The eyesore of my drive. So you think a low-income developer probably will
I think so.
apartments or houses, you think?
The low income housing developers are usually doing apartment buildings. But there's a lot of good projects getting built around the valley right now. They've got some pretty good designs.
How about those designs that we see with the senior complexes that have gone on?
Which
Cinnamon?
complex?
Cinnamon. yeah.
Cinnamon? Cinnamon?
Oh, the Cinnamon. Yeah, that's senior housing. That's done by, I had it and I forgot the name of
There's
the
some good
company
looking,
that did
projects,
Cinnamon.
Well, it's the Via. Cinnamon Via Estates, but who was the contractor?
Would that fall under low income?
It's low income senior housing. Yes.
Oh, so.
So it's that one's limited to seniors.
Yeah, 50.
But we're not.
At this point, we don't know who somebody's going to make a proposal.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions from council?
No.
No. We'll open it up to the public. Any public comment? Marissa, is there anybody online? No. Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to council.
Council, just on the, it is listed as 2 parcels. The northern parcel that runs adjacent to D Street is 2.92 acres. And then the leftover rectangle that would border Smith is 2 acres. So it's a 2 and a 2.92 acre
Do you
parcel.
know what we paid for it?
Pardon me?
Do you know what we paid for it?
I can get that on the long range plan. Let me find it in my computer.
Yeah.
Well, you know that.
And what's the period we wait? Do we have a waiting period for anybody to respond and then we move to the next level or put it out
That
the
was
private?
gonna be my next question.
Yeah, after we send out the notices, there's 60-day period for them to respond. And then there's a 90-day negotiating period. So if we can't come to an agreement with someone in that 90-day period, then we are relieved from the surplus lands process and can open it up to anyone.
Anybody?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So darn near 6 months. 5 months.
Yeah,
And they'll start that. If it's approved today, it will start next week.
probably, because that's probably when we'll send the notices out probably next week.
If it's approved.
Yeah.
I think Nathan's looking for the information that
Yeah.
we're asking for.
I am looking for it.
Nathan, it's okay if you, I know I threw that curveball at you, but
Yeah, I thought it would be
If-
on our long range property management plan, because that was the stuff that was purchased with the RDA funds. But for some reason, these two aren't on there, so I'll have to find out what we paid. But
yeah, this is step one of
yeah,
2 or 3. I was just, didn't know if you had a little Post-it note on your computer of what stupid questions I'm gonna ask.
no, not a stupid question. I actually should know that. And this is the first time me, myself personally, have gone through one of these affordable housing. So big learning curve. I'd like to thank Steve and Christy for helping me out here. And
Yeah, it's the first time the city has had to use this process because
wow.
it's only a 2-year-old process.
so we're learning as we go.
Yeah,
A little bit.
that's what I figure. So it's that will be a question in the future to just wonder.
I'll email it out to council. I'll have that answer tomorrow.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So then I'm looking for a motion to adopt resolution number 2021-31, declaring 2 parcels, APN numbers 023-020-065 and 023-020-064, owned by the city of Lemoore as surplus land, and authorize the city manager or designee to send surplus land notices of availability to all appropriate public agencies.
Wow, mouthful.
Yeah.
Motion to accept 5-1. I'm not gonna read all that.
Motion by Mr. Orth,
Second.
a second by Mr. Gornick.
Aye.
Sorry, I misspelled
Didn't know
Mr.
if you were
Gornick's name.
supposed to ask.
I had a little hiccup there. Mr. Orth,
Yes.
Mr. Gornick,
All right.
Mr. Cheney,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well. 5-1 passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to 5-2, report and recommendation, city council rules and procedures for ad hoc committee. It says Mrs. Spear, but I don't see her tonight. Marissa,
Uh-huh.
looks like Marissa's taking this one.
Yes, I will take this one. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem. So at the last city council meeting, consensus was received to create an ad hoc committee. So after that meeting, staff and the city attorney, we had a chance to review the council rules and procedures, and we kind of found some differences of what was agreed upon at the 11/16 meeting and what is stated in the council rules and procedures. So we just wanted to seek direction from council on whether or not we want to stick what's in the council rules and procedures, or if we wanted to update that document and bring it back to council. So just a couple of things that we noticed is in the council rules and procedures, it states that up to 4 members will be appointed to an ad hoc committee, and I'm not sure, I think at the council meeting, we were discussing 2 per district, or however many we received, we wanted to appoint. And then we also, at the council meeting, it was agreed upon to do like the second Tuesday of each month, I believe in January and February. And in the council rules and procedures, it says that the clerk will coordinate with the members of the ad hoc committee to set a meeting date. So I'm not sure if it's up to you guys, if you guys want to keep this language or update the document. Now, I don't know if Mary wants to add anything else.
Well, it just goes with your options that we need more direction. So do you want to follow the rules that were previously created by council? Do you want to amend those rules? Do you want to not even go forward with the ad hoc committee? We're just wanting to know what to do next. Staff is prepared to go ahead and put those applications for the ad hoc committee on the webpage for the city. So we just need direction.
Well, my first question would be, understand from what I've found out since that is we can do 4 citizens and then the 2 of us and then the 2 city people. So a total of 8, the way the rules are written right now, correct?
Mhm.
That's a fair interpretation.
Okay, now, I don't want to bend rules. I don't want to break them. But a question in the bending of the rule is, could we financially be in trouble if we made it from 4 to 6 for this, or would it be better just, I don't want to go through the amending process right now. I'd rather just get this one thing over with and then that will be something we can address whenever some of us got 3 years still, so we can fix that.
So are you asking the risk if council, I guess, diverts from their own written rules? I think the risk is low. If council directs tonight, no, we want to go forward, bring back all the applications, and then we'll look at the applications. Maybe you only get 4 applications. I think the risk is low if you divert from your own policies, but you do have written policies and a resident may try to hold you to those written policies. So you may want to look at revising them in the future if you are going to continue with different types of ad hoc committees and you want more people. Or you don't even need to put a number in your policies. You could just have it as established by council. But if you're asking the risk, I think the risk is low.
Okay, because I don't want to bend or break no rules. I don't want to even give any vision that we're trying to break our own rules. But I think we should stay with my opinion, stay with the 4 citizens, the 2 city employees and the 2 council, go with that, see what we get. And if we get 100 people that want to go to this, we'll address that when we get the 100 people. But when we get the 2 or 3 people that do it, then we can, or whatever, we can. Does that sound reasonable? That's my thought process.
Well, let's say if you got 5 people who want to do it, you're going to interview 5 and then select 2.
So it actually says the mayor will recommend possible appointments to the councils. So I'm assuming if there's 5, he would recommend 4, and there would have to be consensus from the council on those 4.
For future reference, it sounds like, what is the process of changing that? Obviously, it won't be like it will be done by the next meeting. We'd have to agendize it, bring it back. What does that process look like?
Right. So you would give direction and say, okay, we want it revised to state no limits on the number of people who can join an ad hoc committee. And we would like to be able to decide as a council as a whole on who's going to be on that committee. Ultimately, you get there. Ultimately, you do decide as a whole, but you have that interim step of the mayor reviewing them and then making a recommendation to council. It's just really, you give me your instruction. I work with staff. We revise it. We bring it back for approval. There's no public hearing process. They're your rules.
Okay.
Well, I think since it's my baby, I'm the one that has to talk the most. I think we just keep it at the
I think you're
4.
doing a good job.
Thank you. Well, not everybody, I think, thinks that. I think we're gonna do the 4. I'd like to do the 4 and what we have. Establish that. Let's get
Just get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling. Let's get the applications in here and let's see if we have, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. What was the other? I think is that okay?
That's a good first
You-
step.
Jim, you sit on it. I mean,
I agree with what you're saying.
okay. And then what was the other?
It's just the coordination, the scheduling of the meetings. So once we have 4 members appointed, then we'll coordinate with those 4 members' schedules on a meeting date
Okay,
and time.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I think we were trying to figure out what date would be good for the 4 of us before we move forward, but
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, if those 4 people can't be available on that Tuesday, then we're gonna throw them out because they can't meet with us. We'll change it. If that's okay. I mean, can that be fluid? The meeting?
The meeting date,
can
yeah,
that-
it
the
is.
meeting
That sounds like
be
it
kinda
will be fluid,
fluid?
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. It would be. Yeah.
It's fluid according to your own rules because you're going to ask the committee members what time and date and time works best for them.
Did we set down how long the application takes? We're gonna post it. We're gonna. do
I
this.
know there's a flyer drafted, but I'm not sure if there's a date on it.
Do they normally
I
do
can't
that?
recall.
This
What
is,
was that?
this is
Do they-
probably new as well.
Well, we usually fly them for like a week or two, say up to 14 days to see the interest. And if there's no interest, then we'll refly it,
Okay.
Or sometimes we keep it open until filled, so.
Okay, well. How about we do 14 days and we'll come back and talk.
Do you guys have what you need from us?
We do, you would just want to open it up to the public, see if they have any input.
Anybody from the public like to comment on the ad hoc committee
5-2.
5-2? See none? Bring it back to council. Everybody seems okay with what we've discussed?
Motion to set, approve 5-2?
There's no motion.
You don't, just direction tonight.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Thank you.
No worries. So moving on to 5-3, report and recommendation, Lamore redistricting process. Is that Marissa too, or who's taking that one? Okay.
Good evening again. All right, so as you are aware, the city is going to be going through the redistricting process. So every 10 years, once a census is completed, cities need to update and review their maps as needed. So let's see, I'm on the wrong staff report. So the city went to by-district elections in 2018. So our current map was adopted in 2018. Our consultant with NDC, they actually reached out to us and notified us that they received the census data for Lemoore, and we are actually population balanced. So what that means is current district boundaries will still meet the Equal Population and Voting Rights Act requirements using the 2020 census data and the requirements of the California Fair Maps Act. We have the option to keep our current map as we go through the hearings without adopting. Am I saying that right?
We
Not
would
adopting.
use our existing map as
Yeah.
our draft map.
Our draft map
For the
in the
hearings.
hearings and not do hearings on alternative maps. So we'll still hold 4 public hearings with the current map. Our first one being tomorrow, but it won't be with that map, right, Mary?
No, that's
Yeah.
more informational tomorrow, but it's one of the required 4 hearings that need to take place.
So if council decides to go that route with the current map, it would be a cost savings of about $20,000 to $40,000. I believe the rate sheet was included in the agenda packet. So if we go with the still balanced approach, it would be $5,500 and then an additional $1,700 per in-person attendance for the consultant to come and present.
And that's if we want to change the map.
That's if we want to keep our current map. If we.
That's the savings the city could potentially recognize is the 20, she was breaking it down,
Oh, okay.
20,000 to the
Okay,
$40,000.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Well, I
So-
move that we approve 5.3.
Is it an approval?
So we need direction from council. If you want to stay with your current map as your draft map, we'll get that direction. We'll let NDC know. Your NDC representative will be at tomorrow's public hearing, but you won't need that representative for the remaining 3 hearings where you will,
Meeting. with us in
Correct.
charge, yeah.
you
That's
will
where our
recognize
savings-
a savings there as well.
Yes.
And that's part of that $20,000 to $40,000.
Well, we all know I'm all about savings, so I am down.
And if residents did want to entertain or bring in a new map for us to consider, they'll still have that ability to do so.
Okay,
We just won't be funding the fancy tools online for them to go do it. They'd have to
Gotcha.
take like a map and kind of draw on some lines and we'd have to evaluate it. But going through this process the last time, I mean, we really kept coming back to kind of the same map, and being it's balanced, there's not a whole lot of changes you're really going to be able to make.
It's pretty
Being we are
consistent
balanced.
in the valley though, too. Most of the cities have stayed with the existing district because
Except
of
for
the,
corporate, but
well, yeah.
And in a normal non-COVID year, this would have actually been brought to you in April, but the census data was just received and evaluated. That's why it's so late.
gotcha.
So you need a motion? or-
I was gonna say, we need no
Just direction.
direction,
Yeah, I think we need to stay with
just
this.
stay with the current map.
Yep.
Mr. King?
Draft.
So I actually have a public comment on this item.
Sure.
Sorry. I cut you
We'll
off.
open up to public comment.
So this one's from Christine Andrada, and it states, based upon information that the city is balanced in its district boundaries, as a citizen, I suggest that city council leave well enough alone, make no changes. Christine A. Andrada.
Agreed.
I agree. Jim? Yeah,
Sounds like you have direction.
I have direction, say $4,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Now we will move on to city council reports and requests. We'll just strike that first word right there. Mr. Orth?
The brief.
First of all, I want to thank all of our military over the last 80 years that have fought to keep our country safe. 80 years ago, a foreign country attacked us and we fought back. And we are a better country because of that. So all the men and women who perished that day, I put my hat to them and thank them for their loss. Had the opportunity of riding with our local police department. That's 2 weeks ago. It was a great experience. I suggest all council to ride with them to see what they go through. It was a great experience. I had the opportunity to make breakfast with I didn't make breakfast. I kind of served it with all the city employees. That was an excellent event. I want to thank Michelle and Nathan, and I think Chief, someone paid for it. Whoever paid for it, keep your hat down or whatever. Thank you, because it was a very good experience. I think we did like 80 people, maybe.
Was a
Night,
lot.
lot. I know we did a lot, so
Well, we cooked 15 pounds of sausage, 10 pounds of linguiça. I think we went through 120 eggs.
yeah,
And did you finish the second batter of pancake mix or just the first one?
yeah.
Yeah, it was
A
just
lot
quite the
of,
feed.
and that kitchen is nice. It's a really nice kitchen, and
Yeah.
we're gonna use it this Friday cooking cookies, I think. So.
Baking
You bake
cookies.
cookies.
Yeah, I think
We're
you
gonna bake
You bake
cookies. don't cook
cookies.
cookies. So anyways.
It's all right.
The parade, had the opportunity of going on the float. That was an excellent, there's a lot of people out there. It was very nice. We got to work on it the day before. Well, two of us, other than the city manager, worked on it. 3 of us rode on it, but only 2 of us worked on it.
Ouch.
So, maybe next year we can agendize it a little bit sooner. We can get all of us down there. We can make it a little bit better than what it was this year. I don't know if we can make it brighter, but
Pretty bright. It was awesome.
it was awesome. We had fun. There were a lot of people. We got to pass out candy. I think I only threw it at one person. So whoever that was, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I tripped. So I want to thank in the fire department, I got to watch them raise the tree. That is a awesome event to watch how they do that and work together. I can just only imagine how they work together on a fire. But watching that event tells me how they work together. And without them, we would have a whole lot different city without our volunteers. Those guys work well together and it was really well done. Fire or police, you guys did good. I mean, there's a lot of hard work. You guys are busting your butt, keeping us safe. It's awesome. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I don't think we have a meeting between now and then that I get to talk, so,
Well, tomorrow, but
well, yeah, but we'll see. Anyways, and downtown looks good with the lights. Ray, the whoever did the lights, I think Ray had something to do with it. It looks awesome. We need more magnets. We need more magnet, I think, so we can make our float look like the city drove it. I got a lot of comments, nice float. They didn't know who did it. They didn't know if people did it, if we did it. So more magnets. But it was a great event. I think our city stood up and saw what we missed last year. And hopefully we'll never have to miss one of those again. Holiday stroll. I went on the holiday stroll. That was very nice. A lot of. I'm trying to outdo Patty.
I know. You take it.
Holiday stroll was very
I was
nice. I
holding it
met
together till
a
change.
whole lot of businesses in the holiday stroll. It once again was well attended. So anyways, I'll be done. Thank you, all city employees. Hope you guys have a happy holiday and maybe Friday we'll pass out some cookies to them. Thank you.
I don't know if they'll be ready Friday, but they will have to dry.
Huh?
It's a process. Sugar cookies, like decorate sugar cookies. I don't know if you guys knew that. Maybe you will
No,
cancel on me. I don't know.
no, we need to make them one day. Someone's got to work.
Mr. Gordon?
So I have to admit, now I understand why the comment was brief.
Thanks, friend. You guys don't say nothing when she does it for half an hour.
It's expected.
Vice Mayor. You know,
Oh, okay.
well, just a couple, I also would like to comment on the employee breakfast. Had a good time down there. And I was told that the chief of police, his skill set for cooking pancakes was significantly better at the end of the day than it was at the beginning.
Ouch.
I just, you know, that was
Some
just
daggers are being
unsolicited
thrown
comment,
tonight.
too, from, you know, some of the police superintendents.
You
It was good.
get pulled over.
I did not, prior commitment, I wasn't able to attend the Christmas parade, but my granddaughter and my daughters, my sister-in-law attended it. My granddaughter said it was fantastic. And so that was good. One thing I didn't stay for the raising, but I saw downtown what the guys were doing with the tree. But you know, one of the things I think we need to do and about downtown, making it look better, there's a lot of areas there where I think if we took a look at our budgets, we could put some new sidewalks downtown. And you know, fill in some of the holes where we took trees out and things like that, that I think would make businesses look a little better. And one area that's really bad is the old library. You know, in front of that, it's kind of a concave sidewalk, almost looks like a hole in the ground, you know, stuff like that. But I noticed that when you're just kind of walking around. You know, it looks like it's a vacant building and vacant sidewalk and all that stuff. But anyway, I think our sidewalks could be a little spiffy in that area. Let's see. No, that was it. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow night. And after that, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Gornick. Mr. Cheney?
I have nothing more to say than what Mr. Orth has already said. I think he's gunning for a new position up there on the council. But I do want to thank the fire department, you know, they go every year, get us a beautiful tree, put it up. And they do, not only do they do a great job, they do a great job with their duties. Good firemen and what they do on a professional level, as well as the police department. I'm finding out that maybe they don't have the same cooking skills as the fire department, but anyway, other than that, I just want to thank all the city employees. Again, they're what makes this this city what it is, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. I ride their coattails. They do good things, and you know, it makes us look good, makes all of us look good. So anyway, thank you, all the city employees, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Do I hear a cook-off between fire and police?
I'll be a judge in that.
I don't
We would
know.
lose?
I think the fire department might win from what I'm hearing.
Well, they practice every Tuesday. I mean,
Yeah.
52 weeks.
I wanted to give them the opportunity.
That sounds interesting, though. Maybe we should work that out once a year or
I think we
something.
should.
It'll be like the milk can between Lamore and Hanford, you know, they'll trade off the trophy back
That'd
and
I
forth.
don't, sounds like there'll be no trading off, though.
be cool.
It'd be
I like
permanently-
competition.
It'd be permanently at the fire.
Maybe we
department.
Maybe we should bring that back in
We
a
should.
slow time, not during the holidays. But I'm down. Chili, anything. I'll eat anything. I like food. So that was all, Mr. Cheney, you're done? Just checking.
That was,
Okay.
you know.
You guys are gonna be in for a
Yeah,
shocker.
at a decent hour, so.
Most of everything that I was gonna talk about has been talked about, so I'll just briefly hit it. I missed the downtown, the Lemoore holiday stroll. I was under the weather, so I missed that. But I heard it was very well attended and everybody had a great time. I also missed the last KCAO and Lifeway Church food distribution on the 24th, right before Thanksgiving. But I did get a report back that there were 355 families that were served that day. So it just kind of goes to show you the need that we have in Lemoore. The next distribution is on December 14th at 9 a.m. at Lifeway Church on Bush Street. I do recommend getting there early because we do run out sometimes by 9 o'clock. So if you're in need or you know somebody in need, go ahead and send them that way. I also attended the Lemoore Volunteer Fire Department tree raising event. It was awesome to witness. Great to see so many people there. Christmas parade again was packed and very well attended. It was a great event. Heard nothing but great feedback on that. And like Mr. Orth said, maybe we can get people that like to ride the float but not decorate to decorate next year. Sorry, since we're throwing daggers, I just thought I'd throw that one too. Also, Breakfast with Santa is December 12th at 9 a.m. to noon, and that's going to be at the Lemoore Recreation Center at 721 West Cinnamon Drive. And it's $7 for 5 years and up. Children under 5 are free. Pictures with Santa will be $5. So that's just a little bit more information about that. So that will be coming up this Sunday. And I just want to let everyone know, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and everybody has a great time with family and stay safe. So we do have the special meeting tomorrow, and then our December 21st meeting is canceled. The next regular meeting will be January 4th. And with that, we will adjourn.